We chase this one metric in knowledge management, ticket deflection. And in many ways, it's sort of like our holy grail, right? We put it on our reports, we show it to our boss, we say, look, we deflected 500 billion tickets this month. And understandably, we feel like we've won. But lately, I've been thinking quite a bit about whether that's an accurate measure of victory. Like, what if the ticket deflection number isn't the victory that we think it is? What if it's just, dare I say, a vanity metric, a number that makes us feel good, but doesn't actually tell us if our employees are any less frustrated or any more productive for that matter? Because a deflected ticket doesn't mean the problem gets solved. It could mean someone got frustrated searching and gave up and then went and shoulder tapped the person next to them. So now two people aren't working, and that definitely doesn't show up on our report. So basically, we're stuck. We feel like we're doing good work, but we're speaking the language of cost saving. We're speaking the language of defense. We can't get the budget for the new tool or more help because we can't prove our real value. What we need are the right words, the right metrics to go on the offense, dare I say. Well, welcome to this episode 16 of Intellective Insights. I'm your host, Kylie Alexander, and today we're going to stop talking about just deflecting tickets. We're going to talk about proving real strategic knowledge management ROI. And I want to propose 3 new KPIs that I believe will significantly enhance the entire conversation. So let's get into it. So first up, this one's my favorite because it's all about a feeling, but it's a feeling that we can quantify. Forget the system for a second and think about your people. When they go to your knowledge portal, how does it make them feel? Does it make them feel capable? Does it make them feel empowered? Does it make them feel smart? Or does it just make them feel helpless? Like they're shouting into a void. That feeling right there is the core of your digital employee experience, and you can absolutely measure it. It's called the Employee Confidence Score, and it's simpler than it sounds. You just add a 1-question survey to your portal, something like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you can find the answers you need to do your job? And that number, that's your new baseline. It's not about the tech, it's about the trust. When that number goes up, you can walk into any meeting and say, hey, we're making our employees feel confident and independent. And that's a powerful story to tell. So that's the first KPI. Let's go to the second. This one's about speed, or maybe it's about money. And let's be frank, it's about money. Every time you hire someone, a clock starts ticking. How long that person is actually, doing the job you hired them for. How long until a new support agent can resolve tickets on their own, or a new engineer can ship code without constant supervision. That period, that's their time to proficiency, and it's a huge, often invisible cost to the business. And this is where the knowledge manager becomes a strategic partner to HR. You go to them and you work to benchmark this, and then you show them how your knowledge base is the single best tool to shorten that runway. When you can go to your CIO and say, hey, we cut the onboarding for our sales team by, say, 2 weeks because of our knowledge program, now you're not just talking about saving a few support tickets. You're talking about generating revenue faster. It completely changes the game. So that's KPI number 2. Let's go on to KPI number 3, our third and final KPI. This one sounds like ticket deflection, but I propose that it's so much smarter. I call it the self-service success rate, because success isn't just the absence of a ticket. Success is an employee searching for VPN access, for example, clicking on the single right article, getting their answer, and then closing the browser and moving on with their day. They never had to file that ticket in the first place. That's the real win. So how do we track this? First, let's get really clear on the distinction here, because it's everything. Ticket deflection simply asks, did this person log a ticket after viewing an article? It's a simple yes or no. The problem is it doesn't know the story behind the no. That no could mean the person found their answer, which is great, but it could also mean that the article was too confusing, or they just gave up in frustration, or worse, they gave up and interrupted a colleague, killing two people's productivity. Ticket deflection counts all of those scenarios as a win. It's a dangerously mistake. It's dangerously mistakes silence for success. Let's say that again. It dangerously mistakes silence for success. Self-service success, on the other hand, looks for proof of resolution. It's not just about the absence of a negative action, like creating a ticket. It's about confirming the presence of a positive outcome, a finished journey. So we track what that whole journey looks like: a search, a click on a knowledge article, and then a clean exit. The user closes the tab and moves on to their next task. They don't immediately search for the same thing again. They don't escalate to a live chat. That isn't just silent. It's the sound of resolution. It's the sound of an empowered employee, and that's a metric worth chasing. So let's just pause and think about this. Employee confidence, time to proficiency, self-service success. These aren't just defensive metrics about cutting costs. They're offensive metrics about making the entire business better, making the business faster and smarter. They tell a story of value. But I get it. Listening to this, you're probably like, this sounds great, Collie, but tracking all of this sounds pretty hard. And you're not wrong. Doing this manually is a huge amount of work. The principles are simple, but the measurement at scale is the real challenge. It's where most programs get stuck. You need a platform that's smart enough to do the work for you. So imagine a platform right within ServiceNow that doesn't just serve up articles, but automatically tracks that user journey. One that gives you a dashboard with your employee confidence score right next to your self-service success rate. And that's what we're obsessed with. Taking these powerful strategic ideas and making them effortless with AI, so you can stop spending your time trying to prove your value and just focus on delivering it. So this is where we actually built a guide. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. This guide will help you start this conversation. It's called the Knowledge Management ROI Toolkit. It'll walk you through setting up these KPIs. You can grab it by scanning the QR code. It's right in this corner here. You can scan this QR code or by clicking the link in the description of the video. In the guide, we break down each of these KPIs, why they matter, and how to measure defining success for your organization. It's a pretty comprehensive guide here. It's several pages. In the guide, we'll have each of those 3 KPIs. We break down why it matters, how to measure it, and defining success. So this is going to be something that's going to be pretty crucial for you as you move forward. So what this looks like is you will click the link in the description of this, or you can scan the QR code. You'll get to this page so you can download the full guide. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me here on LinkedIn, or you can send an email to info@intellective.co. And thank you so much for joining me on this episode 16 of Intellective Insights. And until next time, stay insightful. Bye.